Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to the Traitors, where we are discussing Series 3 of the Traitors UK. My name's Ben and I am, as everyone keeps telling me, 100% faithful.
Oh, I was going to say something derogatory then, but I decided to stop myself.
A bastard.
Wow. And we're off YouTube. You know you can't swear for the first 30 seconds on a YouTube video, don't you? You're going to have to beep that.
It's not a swear, it's my heritage.
Is it? Well,
my mother.
Your mum, the slag. Hello, I'm Alex. And as people have told me, I'm also a very good looking chap and should maybe branch out a little bit further than this bastard. Also faithful. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're good. Hope you are well. Gosh, 4 days seems to go a very long time, doesn't it? Until we get back round again to the Wednesday when Traitors comes back out. Before we say anything, anyone listening to the UK Traitors podcast wondering where's the American podcast episodes? Because the Traitors America has just come out and blah, 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 blah. Yes, we're aware of it and we are doing them. However, we will be releasing them as a big bulk, what do you call it? Like a...
I was going to say stream. It's not a stream. Binge.
A binge. We'll be releasing them as a binge as of the moment the UK series ends.
Yeah,
so
for the first time ever, I'm excited about the US series.
Well, don't spoil it for anyone because I feel like you spoiled it for me by knowing this information.
Just one tweet I saw.
Yes, well, I don't want to know any more. Thank you very much. And I'm sure the listeners or the watchers don't want to know any more either. And don't forget, you can get in touch with us, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. On YouTube, you can watch and follow us by going to Faithful to the Traitors podcast. You can listen to us on any of your favourite podcast apps. Again, follow us, subscribe, because then you won't miss when we go from the UK to the US to then later the Irish series and hopefully the next Canadian series. New Zealand,
no.
Fingers crossed. And also Instagram and threads at Faithful to the Traitors. Or if you want to help us monetarily, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. Just like...
Yes, well, we've had lots of silver bars. Our total, Claudia will be running out of numbers in a minute. So, right, we had Tommy.
Not enough numbers in the world. Not enough VIIs. I found VII, but I can't find VIII.
I should have played Final Fantasy 8, shouldn't you? Then you'd know what it looked like. Right, so Tommy said, such a great podcast, guys. You always make observations that I wouldn't have made, rightly or wrongly. Keep on making me laugh and smile.
Is that Tommy Raider?
Tommy Raider.
Thank you, Tommy Raider, for your silver bars.
Grace said, love the podcast. We'd be curious to hear your thoughts on all the theories online about potential secret pairs in the game. I've seen people talking about Alex and Lisa being related, for example. They look a lot alike when looking at them side by side. Keep up the wonderful work. We did mention this briefly last week because I said there's all these funny theories online. How like, oh God. Why is my cough still here?
It was fine up until the moment you start doing a podcast, but there's been a lot of theories out there saying that
Francesca
people
and Freddie are related.
Yes, because obviously Armani and Maya were related in this series. There was Raskan in the last series, and so everyone's kind of expecting there to be lots of relations and relationships.
I think that's it
in the game.
We've had it.
The Red Breakfast in series 1 as well. So obviously there's been precedents that's happened in the past, but I think they can only do it one a series, and we've got that, as we said, with Armani and Maya.
And also someone online tracked down Freddie's mum posting a Facebook comment about him, and they were like, so that Francesca isn't his mum.
Okay.
So that's been finalised, everyone, okay?
That's also a little bit creepy that people are now looking for Freddie's mum.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, isn't it?
Poor Freddie. I liked his backflip, by the way. It brought back memories of Canada Series 2. Backflip!
Hope said, also
Hi,
bought
Hope.
us a coffee on Buy Me Coffee.
Thank you. Was it Grace, the last person?
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace, for the silver bars.
I feel terrible for the innocent faithfuls like Kaz and Freddie who get beat up for days in a row. Also, I don't think anyone will believe that a traitor would knowingly participate in this murder card game of chance, which means that Alexander, Leon, Fozy and Anna will all be seen as definite faithfuls.
But not, apparently, according to this series.
Hope, but...
No, it's been immediate finger pointing, as we saw in this episode. Sorry, who was that? Gracie?
Hope.
Thank you, Hope, for your silver bars. But as you can see from the episode we've just watched, immediately finger points were going toward Alexander. And what was the first part of that? I've forgotten already. There was something about Freddie, wasn't there? I've forgotten. Oh, yes, about people. Again, another thing I've noticed on this series is that people seem to jump on someone and then immediately it's forgotten by the next episode. there's not been any kind of carry on.
There's so many people. There's no time to carry on.
I don't think it's so much that. It's like Linda's always been in the back of people's minds, but she's never been like, she had that initial episode 1 jump, but then after that it's just kind of just been forgotten. And the same with Freddie.
Did you just hint that Linda's gone?
I've not. No, not at all. I've just said that Linda had everyone jump on her in episode 1 and it's not happened since. You're the one dropping spoilers, mate. I'm not doing anything. You're trying to make spoilers. You're trying to make spoilers about the American series. You're trying to do spoilers on the episode we just watched.
You can't do a spoiler for one we're discussing.
But people might not have watched it and like listening to this first.
I doubt it. Blindside might though, because they gave us a silver bar. They
Thank
sent
you,
a very,
Blindside.
very long message, which I'm going to shorten down.
Yes.
Basically,
although
asking,
that does go against our rules, so we do apologise, Blindside. But we do
fine.
say everyone gets a guaranteed read.
Basically, they're asking about the people who come last into breakfast, where it makes it obvious that they're faithful, and why do the contestants not do that? But they also end it with, "Who am I to complain? It makes good TV."
Absolutely. But did you notice on this episode they do the other trick, which is putting the traitors in first, and they do that once a series as well. So this again, if people should have maybe been a little bit suspicious that the 2 first ones in were Linda and Mina. So that was interesting.
I think
as well.
the guy who was in series 1 of the Traitors UK did like a long tweet thread about this, how it's not actually every episode isn't the final 2. There's like the statistics, actually they do mix it up a bit. And last series they mixed up loads because people said that in series 1. So people going into series 3 will be thinking they're doing the series 2 thing still. So you just don't know, basically. I don't think it makes a whole load of difference, and it'll just get you confused.
I mean, obviously they had to do it this time because they had to have the burial game where they had to find the 3 traitors that were almost murdered to find out who the 4th one who was murdered was. Bit disappointed with that, I must say.
Did you find your life card in the bed this morning?
What, with the 3 sons?
Yeah.
I I did. I was lucky I woke up in my coffin, because I sleep in a coffin as well.
Well, yes.
Anna really played that role really well, didn't she? Shaking. She's
I
like,
know.
oh. I'm not going to try to put on an Irish accent, but she did crack me up. By the way, she was just like, she was bitter and angry, wasn't she? She was like, right, that's it. I'm going to get the person who put me in here. That's like, Anna, you didn't sleep in that coffin all night. We know
the way
you
she was
weren't
acting, it's
sleeping.
like they were in there 24 hours. Although Alex was having a lovely time. Alexander in his swaying in his lake.
Imagine it's like a
falling
waterbed.
asleep.
It's like a waterbed. You just
Felt
lulling
like he was
yourself.
giving birth, and he saw Francesca leaning over him, shouting, and like, "Oh, it's you."
Well, all of them. No.
Clunch.
Did you not notice they opened the coffin, and this is when we had about 5 hours of the Leon praise and like the shrine of Leon.
It's Leon.
It has to be Leon. I hope it's Leon.
If it's not Leon, then this is going to just go downhill.
Joe was like, if it's not Leon, then I don't care. And they opened up the coffin. It was Alexander, and there was a physical groan of disappointment from the whole group. And
Poor
then they
Alexander.
jumped on him as well.
Felt sorry for him this week. Our little Alex.
Well, this is a case of them jumping on people for very little evidence, thinking that because he's like one of the 2 new ones, that he must be a traitor.
Right, so the card game did come to an end though eventually in the episode. They really strung this one out, didn't they? It wasn't revealed in the first 5 minutes. Took about 40 minutes until we found out who
Well,
went.
exactly. At the end of the second part of the game, when they
Yeah.
had to find them in their coffins.
It was slow motion of them turning over cards, and it just went on and on and on and on. And their mission was 60 minutes, and 40 minutes of that was spent driving around. It's like, we're going to start the clock now when you're being driven. It's like, okay, I'm just going on a little hike.
Yeah, but do I need to remind you that timer is false and that it's always never that last
1
minute
second
in
left.
the game? Yes, 1 second left. I think the timer is just there for our entertainment, but I honestly don't believe, because they spent so long talking to Anna and Alexander after they opened the coffin. It was like there was no race against time, was it? It was like,
8 minutes.
right, Anna, tell us in a very detailed explanation of what happened and what card game you played, which Anna did. And then they asked Alexander the same question, and Alexander didn't even have a
He
chance
was trying to rush it a bit, and they were all upset, didn't they?
But because he was trying to probably order it in his own mind so he can make sure that he told them the game properly. And Anna was there as well, so Anna could have backed up all the things he was saying. And also, what benefit would Alexander have to try to fabricate the game? Because there were 2 other people there who could have just easily have said, no, everything he just said is a lie. So like them to just pick apart what he was saying, was unnecessary.
They were worrying about Leon, weren't they? And they weren't thinking straight. So
Well, no, because then
they just wanted to blame him.
The hangover carried on at the castle afterwards when they were all still going on about, well, it has to be one of the newbies. It has to be one of the newbies. Leon's one of the existing ones. It can't be Anna because they're just picking on her. So it has to be one of the newbies. It's like, no, it's not. That's nonsense.
Well,
Don't
one of
be
the
silly.
newbies, it wasn't, because Fozia did lose the card game.
Yeah, no, that was a shame because I love Fozia. Although Fozia seemed a little bit surprised when the two traitors came along. She was like, oh, hi.
No, she didn't really. I was like, what are you doing here? She didn't really react or okay, but yeah.
I think she realised what was going on, but at the same time didn't really want to acknowledge it. And also, I loved Linda's parting shot of "get over it" when she was walking away as well. When
And then she said back, "Well, you're going to be next."
No,
So-
she didn't. She said, "You'll get what you deserve. You'll get what you deserve."
Right. So, do you want to do a quick
What's your name and where do you come from?
Yeah, Fozia.
Fozia? And she was, of course.
She is the mother I never had.
Right, so 50. Fozia feels that her life experience and strategic ways of thinking might help her build friendships and form alliances while competing on the Traitors. Well, that didn't go well.
she
Straight
never
from the
built-
train carriage, really.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
was the thing. She maybe she would have had a better game if she was in it from the beginning. But I think, but that was her own choice. She was the first one to say no. I'll get off the train, as we said in episode 1. That was a tactical gameplay by Fozia. There was routes and avenues that I must admit I didn't even see coming from that. I.e., everyone thought that they might be a traitor because they've returned to the game. But yes, Alexander's the last one
The cards
standing.
lay where they met. What's the saying? Something about cards laying where they do. That was a metaphor. Right, quote. I'll go in and make friends and make sure that I can be trusted. I want them to see the real me. She claims she can smell a rat a mile off but prefers to win on her own merit. Quote, if I'm playing any game, I actually don't cheat. Which is an odd quote, but...
Well, she didn't have an opportunity to cheat, but she did go
She
for
ended on a card game.
She did know that her... Well, actually, I'll need to talk about that in a second, but she did know that Linda was a traitor and she stuck by her guns throughout that. So good for her. At least she can leave knowing that she was right. So that's a good thing.
That's the most important thing.
I feel that Fozia's exit from the show was a tad unfair. I'm going to say it. I don't think that you should be eliminated from a game like this on a game of chance, literally the turn of a card. I thought that was a really unfair exit. I think if you get murdered, that's fine. If you get banished, despite what reasons they are, whether they're good or bad, it's fine. That's the game. But I felt like this, a game of chance, was an unfair exit for a player. Personally, please get in touch with us, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com, or get in touch with us on social media, or comment underneath the video on YouTube if you like. But
Quite poetic for her, though, because her first episode, she went on the train carriage and took a chance. That was a bit of a risk.
true.
And then she ended on a...
But I would have
Same
said that
thing,
for anyone. If Leon had exited, if the group would have literally destroyed themselves. But I think that I don't think that's a fair way for someone to exit this game. There's other games where I would say fine. It's like when someone leaves, say, Big Brother, for instance, and it's not by a public vote. It's literally because they didn't pick the right card. Do you know what I mean? It's like the whole idea of the show is that you're meant to be in a team, working as a team, and if you're the weakest link in the team, or indeed the strongest link in the eyes of the traitors, then you leave the show. And I feel like that wasn't a fair exit. So this is my first critique, in my opinion, of the slight change of the rules on that Series 3.
The rewards are killing somebody.
Well, and exactly. And Mina didn't really get the full kill either. But it did give us that moment when Linda said, get over it, which I must say was
Amina
a highlight.
just stared at her like she was an actress.
Mina's stare, that would terrify me.
Fozia didn't even notice it.
I know,
She was
just
a bit
kind
tired
of like,
by then.
oh, no. I know, I think Fozia had
Tired
enough
and
by that point.
hypothermia. So, because I think Leon had enough with the card game as well, and he was sat around that table. It's just a bit cold.
It was a bit anticlimactic for them as well, I guess. It was like, I suppose it was a bit
What do you
tense.
say? What do you say?
Well, what do you say when someone in front of you's just won a game literally on the turn of a card? That's what I'm saying. It was a literal turn of a card. I said, didn't I, the last episode, that I thought what was going to happen was that they were going to literally see the traitors and then, well, not see them, but the traitors were going to decide out of the two who was going to be murdered. That, for me, would be fairer.
That would have been better.
Yeah, because then obviously there's the card game to begin with, but that was a tactical card game as well. Like you had to read people's gameplay in order to know what cards they were holding. So for me, that was unfair. But what also was unfair was that, like you said, that the whole group then all started accusing Alexander of being a traitor, all based thinking that one
doing
of them
it really
would have to
meanly
be
as well. Like they were really like, I don't know, just really horrible. And they were like, well, he's not an OG, so we don't really care. It's like, all right, it's a bit mean. And he's so like, he seems quite friendly and nice. And we saw that again at the round table where it all went a bit wrong. And Leanne lost her temper and again took it out on Alexander. So
yeah, Leanne. I think Leanne's got a thing against Alexander, and maybe the name Alex. Maybe she hates me too, because when Alex voted for her at the round table, she just scowled at him and looked angry. You know, she invited people to give their opinion on why they think she might be suspicious as being a traitor.
Exactly.
And as soon as Alexander did say, well, actually, you know, I'd like to give you my opinion, she jumped on him and attacked him. And it was like a really ugly side of Leanne, and an ugly side that the group spotted as well, I felt.
Yeah, because Francesca, I think, had a little look at her. But I think that's what was spoiled, because she literally said, oh, come and say it out to me now, round table. Like, I invite you to. And then he did. And then he got attacked for it. So that was the thing. It was like, well, if you've ever asked and you were sitting there accusing people with similar amounts of evidence. So yeah, it was a bit
I mean, if you don't
nice.
want,
but she did laugh at herself at the end and did say, oh, I got a bit worked up there. So at least she acknowledged that
yeah, I suppose you're right, but it did I don't know, it just had the sniff of like hypocrisy there. It's like, don't like ask for people to kind of point the finger at you if you don't then like what you hear. And it felt like that she was almost an honourable member of the bros, because Jake and Joe were kind of like on board with like that kind of thing as well.
I mean, Leanne did have suspicions. Linda was playing the treacherous game of making people think she may be a traitor because of what she said about what Olivia said.
Yeah, but again, Freddie twisted that because Linda never said that she
was rude.
She just said that she felt like the comment, like what she had said, was
surprised
wrong.
Her, yeah,
and it surprised that Leanne thought that. And that was Freddie said that, but Freddie's name was never thrown out or mentioned. So that was
Freddie's
interesting.
trait is bad choice of words, because he said the clique last week. And that got everyone upset.
Well, that upset Leanne as well, didn't it?
So he said rude this week, so he needs to watch his words. He's a political student. He should be good at picking his words. Well, again,
you know, I've had my suspicions of the Tory blue in him, and you know, I think he does like to stir the pot somewhat. Okay. He likes to kind of throw a grenade and then stand back and see what's going on. Because
sit there and blink his big eyes.
Well, because did you not notice he said that to Leanne, and then Leanne said, "Well, I'm gonna speak to Linda about that." And Freddie went, "Good luck," and then did his little put his one leg next to the other one, and then did a little spin in his huge bell-bottom jeans. By the way, it's more jean than human.
It's the fashion at the time.
It is the fashion at the time. He was doing a nice backflip in them as well. Let's never forget Freddie's backflip in this episode, because no reason, just wanted to do one.
And a few people have also finally, for the first time, started mentioning Mina's name, because Leanne was like, am I still here? Why am I still here? Is it because Leon's a traitor, or is it Mina? And then I think Freddie again was the one was like, out of the two, I think it's going to be Mina who would be a traitor. So
Annie, and also Anna was the only one who voted for Mina as well, because she felt like she's being targeted by traitors. This was an interesting episode as well, actually.
Yeah, the wine glass, that's what tipped her off, which wasn't actually a thing.
She said that she asked her to carry her drink into another room. Again, Mina very confident and very good at redirection at the round table. She said, I never said that. I asked you just to stay near my drink. I never handed you a drink. I never asked you to take a drink into another room. I just said to stay near to my drink.
And if we do move, just bring it with you.
Yeah, and, exactly. And Anna then stepped back a little bit, but not enough for her to not vote for Mina.
Although we do have to pick up on we need a theme or a name for this, is the one plus point of Joe each week. So we normally say he does lots of things wrong.
He's gone down on many a points this episode, because he asked for everyone to cheer for Jake.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone cheer for Jake.
But we have to scrape through and find that one little golden nugget of
digging
Joe.
Like a grave at VII.
Joe's gold nugget of the week. Yeah. And this was that he stuck up for Mina and said, right, everyone, Out of everyone else, Alexander, Leon, Anna, did anyone else ask you to pick up a glass?
Oh,
And they
that's
were all
true.
like, no, we didn't. So they were like, okay. Mina probably just did that. So there you go. Joe's golden nugget of the week.
There you go. He saved
saved
Mina.
himself.
But then I'm sure, didn't they, after the round table, then him and Jake started talking about Mina?
Probably.
Yeah.
But
Because
we won't talk about
they
that.
backstab every episode. Yeah. I mean, it was
pretty much unanimous in the end.
It
And
was
there was a
unanimous.
really nice bit at the beginning of the
That's what I was
episode
going to say. That's what I was about to say.
where Mina was talking to Linda at the breakfast table, and she said, if it does look a bit dicey, if I don't vote for you, it might look suspicious. And Linda said, go ahead, do it. It's the sisterhood. If you have to do it, sacrifice me. I won't hold any grudge. And it's
I
like,
want you to win for the sisterhood.
Yeah, that's what we like. That's what we needed. Traitors that actually are on each other's side, and look how much it pushes them through.
That's exactly
Who would have thought
it.
Linda would have got to episode 7?
If you think about it, Linda's sacrifice actually has probably helped Linda through further. Mina's through further.
So we've been waiting for this for quite a few series now. Of traitors actually do have to work together to win this game.
But sometimes, as you say, sometimes a sacrifice is the ultimate way of getting someone within your group to stay in. Because Mina, well, we'll talk about after the banishment in a moment, because there's another point I want to bring up that was a very strong theme, I felt like, around the round table this episode. And that was that both Leon and Lisa brought up that they're not thinking about who is murdering the group. They're thinking more of who is saving them. Like, are they close to someone that they are being saved? Now, Leon's was directed at Linda and Leanne because he felt like either one of those, which then led for Leanne having some accusations by Alex. He said it was a work in progress, but he's got some theories about Leanne. And then Alexander did his spiel about him saying that it was interesting, actually. I must say, what Alexander said it was a good theory to be said. Why she felt like she had been, on the day when no one was murdered, why she felt like because she had the shield, she was saved, and didn't immediately, her first thought was that someone had been recruited.
Do you know what it is? She's got main character energy.
She has got main character energy.
She thinks, well, I'm the main character, so clearly they tried to kill me and I got saved by my shield.
Because I'm so amazing, because I'm Leanne.
Duh. I'm an army cadet / secret identity of nail technician.
I was listening to another podcast, not that there is other podcasts, I know. And they quite rightly pointed out that Leanne obviously is in the army, but she said that she was like a nail technician because that kind of like doesn't single her out. But like almost said it as if it was like a lesser job, when actually that's quite like insulting to people who work in the beauty industry.
Well, a lot of people do it, and it's like hairdressers, they think they're all seem dumb.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah. I think she sort of sees it as a less threatening. Like if you went in and said, "Oh, I'm an ex-army cadet," it's a bit like what Alexander, how he's like, "I'm a negotiator of."
Yeah, but he said it straight in front of the centre, didn't he? He's
exactly.
like, "I'm a negotiator."
Look what's happened.
Yeah.
They all look at, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's could be quite insulting to actual nail technicians.
At the round table, though, Alexander actually showed his skills. To be fair, because the way that he was like quite eloquently giving the reasons why he believed Leanne might have been lying about like not knowing about recruitments and stuff like that, and having the shield and this, that and the other. And the way that Leanne reacted, as we've already mentioned, very, very like spicy, and Alexander reacted, it was night and day. Alexander was just like very calm, cool and collected. Like Leanne was like immediately fiery and like defensive.
Know why? That's because Alexander was using that thing where he basically used her own words back against her.
Yeah.
And because he did that, she had nothing to say, so which is why she then suddenly lost her temper. So that is a good technique. That would like literally, he listens to the words she says and use the exact words back to her, so she can't then counteract them. Which is then you crumble and go, well, I'm going to shout instead then.
Yeah, because you get frustrated. So this is why the team needed to, as they showed shots of some of the people, as you said, Francesca, kind of looking a little bit like pensive about Leanne's reaction. And really, they shouldn't be looking at Leanne's reaction. They should be looking how Alexander is presenting himself. Because let's be honest, as a faithful, if only he could be like trusted 100%, if there's something they can 100% trust him to say he's faithful. As a faithful, he's very important as a negotiator around the round table. So
if only he didn't get off that train, he'd be If you
well,
know
that-
Gene, they'd remember him.
as
They'd
we
just
said,
trust him.
he negotiated himself off that train.
Yeah.
So that was a unfortunate event for Alexander. But another person who said that they felt like someone in the game was looking after them was Lisa. And that confession by her was quite an emotional one, wasn't it? Because I think it was at that moment
Linda.
that she twigged that Linda was
A guardian angel.
her friend, her soulmate, and someone who would kill
Her
her.
Thelma to her Louise.
Yes. But they weren't
Yeah.
driving off that cliff together, unfortunately,
No.
when Lisa turned round.
jumped out.
Yep, Linda had jumped out.
But yeah, we did lose...
like that French and Saunders sketch. That's right.
We did lose Linda, though, didn't we? But we have already done her fact file, so
Oh,
Is the mother I never had.
a lot of mothers.
we lost both of them in one episode.
I know, it's very sad. Well, we've still got Lisa, though.
That's true.
Lisa.
The new mother.
Lisa from our remake of Sister Sister that will be made, and the BBC are listening, I can feel it.
So we had that fun opportunity of when there's one traitor left.
Well, before, don't forget stats. Everyone loves the stats. Linda got 7 votes. One of them was Mina, as we know. Leanne got 3 votes. Alex apologised to Leanne for voting for her, which really wound me up because then Leanne gave that sassy kind of raised eyebrow, like,
Can I say it
Well-
was really stupid of Linda not to vote Leanne as well? Like, because that could have... Not that it would have, because the votes were so swayed,
yeah.
but that could have been her... She put Leanne's name out there. Vote for
true.
her to get these numbers up and you could have stayed.
true.
It was too decided, so it didn't matter.
Alexander got 2 votes and Mina got her sole 1 vote, her first vote, and that was from Anna, who, similar to what Leon and Lisa were saying, felt like that she was being not watched by Mina, but more kind of punished for not being recruited by Mina. So she gave her 1. But as I said, if Alexander had gone this episode, then I think the finger of blame would have been on Leanne, and I think Leanne would have been in a very dangerous situation in the next episode.
I think Mina needs to kill Leanne or Leon, her 2 close ones, to stop the "why am I still here" theories going out.
Well, depending on what happens at the end of the episode, at the beginning of the next episode, we could see another murder.
Yes.
But what happened? What happened in the Traitors Turret?
Yeah, well, because there's one left, you have to recruit. There's no option. Although Claudia was like, but if they say no, they get murdered. And I guess they then ask someone else to be a traitor. Do they just keep going until they run out? I'm not sure.
Well, they have to. They must do.
They can't
because
have
if-
one traitor.
At the round table, if there's only one traitor, well, I suppose they could, and then they'll just have to start again with
That'd be weird.
Davina. Davina? Why am I
Davina McCall.
Davina McCall. Why am I
is
thinking
this?
of 2000's Big Brother? No. Yes. Well,
But, so yeah, there was an option, but basically, if you say no, then you're dead. So you might as well just say yes and stay another few episodes.
Yes, it wasn't. They normally there's no option. They have to accept the recruitment, but for some reason they changed the rule this time, and they've said that, as you say, if they say no, then they're murdered. But we don't know what happens after that. No. But we do know if they say yes, then they have to then
go
immediately go back to the turret and then choose someone to be,
which is
then
the perfect
murdered.
time to actually be forcefully recruited, because there's still a murder. Then people aren't going to know that there was a recruitment. So this is actually the perfect time just to say yes and join. So,
Although it would look really suspicious if, like, if they are just murder after one after the other until someone eventually says yes.
well, like, they wake up and 7 people are dead.
There will only be 3 players left, and the 2 of
We've
them are
brought back
traitors.
Jack from the train.
Yeah, bring back Jack. He's tall, he can swim, and money, Ben, money.
It's important. So she wanted to keep the sisterhood alive, which I enjoyed.
I loved what she said, actually, and
Yeah.
she said she didn't want to throw anyone under the bus. She actually wants to keep a close,
That's how
strong
you do it.
relationship.
Mina was listening last series to the podcast, clearly, because that's what we were saying.
Well, to be fair, I feel a bit bad for Anna now, because like their original option for Anna was to throw her under the bus between her and Linda, but now Mina's on her own. She's like, no, I really want a strong player to play alongside with, which is
Change her
lovely. I love that, and I love that she's choosing another strong
And her,
female.
her picks were good. Like she said, Francesca, I think Charlotte, I can't remember
And
the
Lisa.
third, and Lisa. They're good ones because they're really like faithful like Mina is.
Yep, basically the common denominator between all 3 of them was pretty much that everyone trusts them. no one's really looking at them and they're flying under the radar. Charlotte, she said, was strong as well and very smart. And she said
she's struggling there because she's got to keep having a Welsh accent.
I mean, she did mention a Welsh accent this episode. And
I still haven't heard it.
I've not heard it yet. I can't imagine a moment when she actually has been Welsh in the whole time.
It's real.
It's like...
Can you imagine if she stands up one day, like around when she's banished, whatever, and she says, I was faking my Welsh accent, guys. And they were just like, sorry, Welsh accent?
It'll be a similar reaction when Linda starts crying, you know, or when Alexander gets let out of the coffin. This group is the best group for group reaction, by the way. The way that they all almost simultaneously
hive mind.
Yeah, they at the same time have the same kind of like thought process. I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that in the group.
Yeah, we've got a cliffhanger though, but only one day to wait. Thank God, because I'd be annoyed if this was another 5-day cliffhanger. But yeah, she picked Charlotte. They have to come from face to face.
Yes,
and she has to either say yes or no.
What do you think she's going to say? Is she going to say yes?
Yes, I would. She's such a faithful already. It's not really exactly risky. And Mina's not exactly like a worrying figure in the game either. So it's quite a safe bet, those two.
True, but you don't know. Well, Charlotte would go to that fire pit knowing that Mina had voted for Linda. So she knows that Mina is someone who will go against you if necessary.
Depends how much time she has to like do a pep talk before she says yes or no.
Mina said that she needs to earn her trust with Charlotte. Again, which I thought was a lovely thing to say because it proves that Mina is considering keeping Charlotte on to the final.
If Charlotte says yes, she'll probably be like, right, because I've recruited you, you choose who to murder tonight. Maybe that would be like her trust.
Oh, let Charlotte choose.
You can do anyone. My favourite, Leanne or Leon or whoever.
I feel like that's a bit of a limp handshake, though, of a way of kind of like introducing people. Do you think? I think that's too obvious, and I would then immediately be very cautious about what she's doing.
Mina will just say, well, I'll talk in a Welsh accent from now on.
Because I think
join you.
I think the problem here now is that when you recruit someone brand new into your sisterhood, is that with all good intentions Mina might have, that doesn't necessarily mean that Charlotte isn't going to start conspiring against you. That's Charlotte's going to be the one who's. I think. I just think that Charlotte's the one that now Mina needs to worry about and
if
keep an eye on.
But I do hope by the final that we've only had female traitors though.
Yeah,
I hope no matter what happens, I hope the females just keep recruiting females.
I hope so. I mean, we had a very male-orientated series last year, didn't we?
Exactly.
As Davina McCall. My goodness, why do I keep calling her Davina? Claudia.
Do you want Claudia to present Big Brother or something?
Oh, it's because I'm thinking of The Masked Singer, you know. I'm thinking of this series, The Masked, and the way that Macy Gray walked off. I cannot get over that. Yeah. No. Do I sing now?
I know. Jonathan Ross was doing his most professional work
I've never
ever
seen
done.
Jonathan Ross act so professionally in all my time.
I always said
Joel McHale.
Joel Dommett was like there in headlights, like I don't know what to do, basically. So he showed him.
And Davina just literally was like this the whole time. Because that's what she does.
Love your song. We love your song.
We love you. We love you, Macy Gray. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's so awkward.
Oh, Macy.
Anyway.
What an embarrassment. An embarrassment of riches, though.
If you carry on with that, you'll get a comment on Spotify saying 7 minutes in, haven't talked about the traitors yet.
Although they are right, to be fair. When people say that, I do agree with them every time.
Well, it's a podcast, so that's what it is.
Look, they've made lots of money this series so far, £41,000. However, this is the lowest amount of any series in the UK so far. Do you think that the prize money is being deliberately strangleholded against them a little bit more?
In case the Daily Mail does an article about it. Your license fee money is going where?
No, I don't think that. I think because if you look at the Canadian series, that was a very low prize pot throughout it as well. And I wonder whether it's more the notoriety now rather than the prize money.
No, they'll bump it up. Their missions on this series are a bit weird. They're not really earning it. They're just giving the money.
Yeah, they just say, and you played the game, so here's £5,000.
So I think they'll just bump it up randomly at the final. They're like, this game's worth £75,000. You just have to stand in the field for an hour.
Yes, but don't forget my gripe, which I had on earlier series, is it didn't happen in the UK yet, but that is there's no reason to play all these games throughout the series if you're just going to give them the full prize pot at the end of it. Yes. You should always keep it
Australia Series 1
and America Series 1. I'm looking at you. You should always keep it that the prize pot is what they earn and then that's the end of it. Don't just say, oh, and you get $250,000, because then why did you play the games up to that point?
Fun. an exercise.
Is it fun though? Kate would disagree with you 100%.
Don't talk about her. Right, so this has come to the end of the episode, believe it or not,
Because we're
everyone.
now talking nonsense to one another. So let's finish it there.
So before tomorrow then, if you're listening to this live as it comes out, let us know your thoughts and you can get in contact with us. How?
Well, I'll tell you how.
I said that sentence the wrong way around, but it's fine.
It's
Just get on
fine.
with it.
You can email us, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can comment underneath the video if you're watching this this podcast in video form on YouTube. Search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast. Don't forget to like, ring the bell, and comment underneath the podcast, and subscribe as well. Please subscribe to our to our YouTube channel. You can find us on any of your favourite podcast apps as well. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoy listening to the podcast, pardon?
It's quite fascinating.
Fascinating. And if you enjoy listening to the podcast, please give us 5 stars and give us a comment for why you enjoy listening to the podcast. Another way you can help promote the podcast is by telling your friends and sharing us on social media. We're on X at Traitors Podcast, on Instagram and Threads at Faithful to the Traitors. Boo. You can also help us by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. And if you give us a silver bar on that website... She don't want to talk about Love Island, despite going on Love Island reunion.
Ekin boo hoo hoo.
Buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and then whatever comment you attach those silver bars with, we guarantee we will read out, or at least
Sum up.
give you the gist of what that comment
Depends
is.
how many paragraphs it is.
Exactly.
But yeah, she's not on a reunion. She's on All Stars, an actual series of Love Island.
She doesn't want to talk about Love Island.
That's ridiculous.
Her whole personality is not Love Island. Ekin Boo Hoo Hoo is more. There's more to her
Breaking the microphone.
than Love Island. I'm sorry if I've just made someone's ears bleed.
Yeah.
She's not anything to do with Love Island.
I know she's above that now.
She's above that.
Now appearing on All Stars. But anyway,
Now appearing on Love Island All Stars.
that's Traitors US talk. So anyway, we will see you all again tomorrow to do this all again. Can you believe it? Stay faithful. I've forgotten what I'm saying. Goodbye.